Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence, a community of like-minded individuals who seek to better themselves in all facets of life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Like-minded and open-minded, as I say. And one thing that has been a topic of priority lately for me is opening my heart and really tapping into what abundance feels like. We hear from all of the people in the manifestation space that you really need to get into how it feels. And I feel that there are some stages of the process of this clicking for you or for us, where the first stage is you understand, okay, manifestation is about feeling it. And then the second stage, you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to make a conscious effort to take that time in meditation or visualization or scripting or mirror work. Like you're trying to, with your mind, carve out some time in your schedule where you can do these practices as if they are tasks on a to-do list. And then the third stage is when you actually start releasing the pressure that you felt around, oh, if I only did this, then I could manifest. You really start to tear down that wall and you just start feeling that way. And then, as you go on and to more advanced stages, you begin to actually embody it on a day-to-day. It's kind of like, we have these habits throughout the day. An obvious one would be like checking your phone. One thing I realized the other day is I have a nose piercing, just a stud, and I actually touch it multiple times throughout the day. And I didn't realize that until a week or two ago. I had taken my nose ring out. I think I was going to a facial or something like that where I needed it to be taken out. And then I ended up not putting it back in for a couple days later. I just kept forgetting. And throughout those 2 days, I kept touching my nose and realizing it wasn't there. And in this process, I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I touched my nose on a day-to-day basis until I touched it and realized my nose ring wasn't there. So in the decade of having my nose pierced, I've developed this habit of just touching it to make sure it's there and make sure it hasn't fallen out, which is really interesting because it never falls out, but I just touch my nose. It's just a habit that I've done. I mean, it will fall out if I'm wiping my face with a towel, coming out of the shower or whatever it may be. But I'll note. I always notice it in the moment. It's not like it'll fall out without me noticing. So the fact that I touch my nose seems unnecessary, but it's just something that I do, and that might have seemed like a random tangent. But the point that I'm making here is that we have these habits that we don't even consciously recognize. And your thoughts and your thought process and your perspectives and your mindset, that is no different. And so as you're going throughout your day, are you thinking these little subconscious thoughts? Are you touching your nose in a way that's thinking, oh, these are all the things I want, but this is how far I am away from them? And, in that scarcity mindset of this separation from where you are and where you want to be. Or are you going throughout your day touching your nose, being like, life is good, I feel great. How would you feel if all your dreams had come true, right? And, we never stop dreaming. That's a normal part of the human experience. But, we can get our dreams to happen if we are in that mindset of what it would feel like for them to have happened. So that was just a message that came through. I think I'm recording this right on the eclipse currently, and this is a timeless message. So if you've received it, then there's a message in it for you. But I happen to be recording this right now on the the lunar eclipse in Pisces. And so the full moon, total lunar eclipse. So there have been some intense energies that I've definitely been picking up on. And I want to channel into a collective here that may have started to feel that you may be on this similar journey of trying to attract more love and abundance into your life. And I'm getting a little bit of chills as I say this, because it's like that first step into the timeline, into the portal where you feel like, wow, this is a new life and I can do this. Like, I got myself here. I deserve to be here. And like, I love this life. I just got chills twice more. And so, but then something happens and you start feeling a tug backwards. And this could be like, for some of you, it may be internally driven. Like, it could be like some phase of anxiety or depression, but the major collective I'm picking up on is it's a person that you've had some kind of conflict with. So this could be a family member. I'm picking up like really strong, like, parent, like if you have ancestral healing between you and a parent, or like ancestral karmic patterns that you are like, that it is your mission in this life to heal and break those patterns and replace them with like a more positive and loving paradigm. Like, that is a strong part of the collective. It could be a coworker, a friend, a romantic counterpart, a coworker. Did I already say coworker? Okay, that might be also. If I said it twice, that could be a strong part of the collective as well. But anything that pulls you back and you're starting to feel like, that does not feel good. I do not want this kind of energy or interactions in my life. And you're having a moment of being like, what the heck? I was just on the way into this new portal, this new timeline. I talked in my previous videos about crossing this line in the sand where no more are you, dealing with these past timelines of just like a lack of abundance, right? Like, and so there's this feeling here with this intense eclipse energy where you almost have a moment of maybe doubt, or maybe feeling like you're not so empowered as you thought you were, right? And so I want to channel into this and really bring light to this shadow and this trap, as you may call it, because the beauty of this is that you're being tested, right? And how you respond is practically determining whether you continue on into that timeline, or whether you are going to a more in-between timeline until you're ready to continue walking through that highest timeline. Metaphorically, of course, right? Like, and so what I'm getting really strongly is that you're feeling this pull between having strong boundaries, or, having strength and self-respect, which requires boundaries, and boundaries result in separation in 3D, in the physical, right? So boundaries by nature may seem like there is no love present, especially if you're in a really intense form of this conflict. You may be debating between allowing someone to remain in your life or cutting them off completely, which is like a very intense version of how these kinds of conflicts can go down, right? And I've already gotten chills like 4 times in the past few minutes, but that's just my confirmation that I'm channeling into something significant. If this is resonating, like, please drop a comment. I really want to build this community and hear from you. So thank you so much for listening and being here and co-creating this message. And so what I'm getting is, like, you feel like you have this inner warrior, this your protector, right? That's inside of you. And I'm getting chills again. And your inner warrior, your inner protector wants to scream at this conflict, like whether it's at the person or at just the concept of this conflict. They want to scream, no more, never again. Like they want to put their sword down, or, put their foot down, and they want to gear up into armor and, run off into this battlefield of boundaries. And you're hurt, and you're tired of this same story repeating, where you feel like you don't deserve to be treated like this. And yet when these instances arise, this could be a cyclic kind of conflict that you've gone through many times before, especially if I'm getting with like the parent dynamic. Like this could be something where, you have this conflict with them, and then it blows over, and then you have it again, and then it's just like over and over, and you're so tired, hence this screaming, no more, never again, not again, I will not allow this again. And you're feeling like this rage and also this hurt. And so I'm also hearing like showers and baths will help a lot with this, and like not responding if you can help it, like especially if it's not like an in-person conflict, taking time, because you don't want to make the mistake of responding when tensions and emotions are high. And so you're thinking to yourself, how can I balance this like inner strength that wants to fight for my boundaries? And that fighting feels like there's no love in it. It feels like it's war. It feels like it's the opposite of love, right? And you also want to take the high road in these conflicts. You want to offer compassion and understanding and love for this person. You would like to offer as infinite and unconditional love as you can, while still having an ego mind, right? You would like to offer that to this person. But it feels like doing so, is the opposite action as setting boundaries and respecting yourself. And so there's a message here from your angels, my angels and your angels, that there is something meaningful about this interaction, about this dynamic, about even this conflict. There's something meaningful here. It is not just a bad piece of news. It's not just bad news or like a negative piece of information. It is here to show you something that is profound. And what that is that I'm trying to think of the words to say this here. Self-love is really the answer. You don't need the armor. You don't need armor around your heart, your body, your mind, anywhere. You don't need any armor. Your self-love is strong enough to heal anything, and it is strong enough to protect you. Self-love is the warrior, is the protector. So strength and boundaries are not the opposite of love. They are rooted in love. So your inner warrior, your inner protector, who embodies your strength and is here to serve your boundaries and is ready to, what seems like, fight a war, is really just in service of love. And don't forget that, because war and fighting really aren't words that you would use in alignment with love. So those aren't really the words we're looking for here. The words we're looking for is love, right? And so just because your boundaries may result in some form of separation doesn't mean that, separation, of course, in the physical, in the 3D, doesn't mean that love is not energetically behind it all. So you are being called, and you are being gifted this beautiful opportunity through this conflict, and you are being called to see and recognize and really focus on and prioritize this love, and to really embody it. Love for yourself, and from a distance, love for the other person. which stems from the love for yourself. So the first priority is the self-love. And then from that source of light, it branches off and it can be directed towards the other person. And that's where you can get to that loving kindness and compassion for the world. And because what your angels want you to recognize is that you and this person are not so different. You are branches of the same tree of life. And although it seems like there's separation and boundaries needed and disagreement, you both have love rooted as the source energy that makes up each of your lives. And especially if this is a parental, like, karmic dynamic, this is so important to recognize, because you literally are on the same, family tree, the same tree of life. You truly are the same branch, or you may say two different branches of the same tree, however you want to use the metaphor. But this is so, it can feel so heavy, but your angels are encouraging you to embody that love even during pain and heartbreak, and even after the pain and heartbreak, when all you want to do is, when in the moment, all you want to do is cut this person off and say no more, never again. Your angels are encouraging and challenging you to respond in love and counter their energy in love. That is what you are to be practicing and developing the skills of in this life. And even with all the pain that has come and the pain that will come, if you zoom out, you can recognize what a beautiful opportunity this is. You truly are being gifted this journey in this lifetime. You are being gifted the infinite evolution of your soul. And that is truly what abundance is. If you can tap into that feeling, then you're tapping into abundance, you're embodying love, and you can work through any conflict, as intense as it may feel. And sometimes this takes taking a beat, taking a shower, taking a bath, so that you can reset. But in the moment when emotions are high, when you feel sensitive, when you feel like your normal or typical patterns of response want to surface, you are being encouraged to pause, remember to zoom out, so that you can remember what abundance and love truly feel like, and then embody that going forward. And it's going to take practice, because you're training a very strong ego mind, which is used to responding in separation, right? Whereas we want to be working from our hearts, and we want to be in union, and, recognize the union, recognize the similarities, not even the similarities, it's deeper than that, but recognizing that we all come from the same energy. That is what you want to be doing. So I hope that this reading helped. I didn't even end up pulling a single card, but I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to be doing more videos like this in the future, channeled readings, tarot readings. So if you enjoy, I'd love to have you here. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.